YouTube considering monetization changes to React channels. I saw that. So YouTube is considering changing the way that React channels are monetized and React videos are monetized. I think that it's going to be hard for them to do that. To me, so this is the only perspective that I ever have, is that I think that it's going to be like a weird thing, because like, how do you categorize a reaction video? Because there's of course like a very large spectrum of reaction videos. There are reaction videos where somebody just sits there without saying anything and they watch the entire video, and there are other things like the H3H3 reaction videos, which were proven in court as fair use. So these are two very different videos. So how do you draw the line? How do you handle it? Is it really good for YouTube to get involved, or should creators make the rules themselves? Or should YouTube give the creators tools to make the rules? I think that if anything, YouTube should give the creators tools to make the rules for themselves, rather than trying to make overarching site-wide rules. I think that is the smartest thing to do. However, I think that it's probably just a better idea to do nothing. I have no idea. And that's generally the way that I see it. YouTube heroes, you guys see, yeah, it would require effort. It would require a lot of effort. And generally the way that I've always done things is that, you know, I try to work with people who I react to their content, promote their stuff whenever I can, whenever I'm watching it, etc. And if people have a problem with that, I just don't react to their content. It's really not that complicated or involved, etc. If a reactor is reacting to a reactor, who's going to get the revenue? Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm saying, is that the, like, you get to, yeah, it's like a turtles all the way down situation where, like, what really is a reaction? How does this differ? Like, what is a reaction to, let's say, a YouTube video versus a reaction to a stream versus a reaction to a news article versus a reaction to a video game? And so, like, these things become very abstract and hard to make rules for. And that's why I'm not necessarily 100% certain that YouTube will be able to make a rule that will satisfy everybody, which is why I think that if they do anything, they should give content creators the rules, or sorry, the tools to make those rules themselves. That's what really kind of makes sense. I mean, I've had a bunch of people that message me saying that me reacting to their videos and posting their stuff was beneficial to them. I've seen people that have drawn conclusions that are the opposite, but I think that most of the evidence does point to the fact that it is a beneficial thing. I think that turning off monetization might not be the best option. I think that it is. What I think that they should do is, instead of making rules, they should make tools. And they should provide tools for content creators. If those content creators don't want to have reactions to their content, they can prevent that from happening. A revenue sharing thing, something like that. And this is something that I would even do preemptively, right? And so super biased? No, this is not biased at all. So the reason why it's not biased, I know there are people that think that this is biased because I do react videos. So people are going to think, oh wow, he just doesn't want to lose money from his react videos. Guys, I make a lot of fucking money. I don't care. I don't give a shit. I could make $0 from YouTube and it would not matter to me. I did for years. I let people upload my content and make money off of it. People restream my stream and react to it live. I don't give a fuck. People have made hundreds of thousands of dollars off of my content, and I have never claimed any of it at all. This is clearly something that I believe in. This is clearly something that I think. Wait, really? Yeah. So basically what happened, what I used to do is I would just let anybody upload anything of my stream onto YouTube, and I let them fully monetize it and take 100% of the money. They got all of the money and everything for it, because I viewed it as, well, this is going to advertise me too at the same time. Even though they're advertising themselves and putting themselves in the video, etc., I'm still getting the advertisement, so it's a net positive for me. And there were times that, like, people, some of the guys that were making money off of this, they sent me screenshots of how much money they made a month. Some of these guys were making $30,000, $20,000 a month from just uploading videos of my stream onto YouTube. I never claimed any of that. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I never did. I didn't care. And so this is not something that, like, this is not an ideology. This is not some sort of signaling, virtue signaling, etc. This is what I did. So I didn't give a fuck. And so anyway, now we're not able to do that anymore. And the reason why is because YouTube has a duplicate content policy, which makes it to where if the YouTube algorithm identifies 2 duplicate videos that are both monetized, they both lose monetization, which is why I had to make my big main channel now, which is Asmongold TV. So that's what happened. And anyway, how that articulated though? Yeah, and so what I'm saying is that there is a massive spectrum of reaction videos. So like on one end of the spectrum, you have a person who watches the entire video in its entirety, making almost minimal, never pausing the video, saying 3 things during the video, and nothing else. You see? So that is on one spectrum of React content. And then on the other spectrum of React content, you have somebody like H3H3, who literally won a case in court that his React content was fair use. So clearly, React content, there is a line where it is a problem. Is it YouTube's best decision to draw that line, or is it the best decision to give content creators the tools to draw the line themselves? I think that the best decision is to allow content creators to decide it themselves. That's what I think the best idea is, and that's smart. Curiosity, how many editors do you have working for you? It depends. Watch along equals React content, sure, and the latter as well. And also, I think that a lot of people are negative about React content, and I would challenge anybody who is extremely negative about React content this one thing. If you view React content as parasitic because it takes away viewership from the original creator, and you are making money off of somebody else's work, in what way can that not be applied to video games? Because everybody here, not everybody, but many people here, how many of you have ever watched a video of a video game, a playthrough of a video game, instead of buying the video game? How many of you have ever done that? Whataboutism? Well, no, what I'm saying is that it's not whataboutism at all. It's that if you want to make a rule that applies to everything, then you have to have the rule apply to everything. And what I'm saying is that the people that don't like React content, many people don't like React content because they just don't like it. There is no actual logical basis behind not liking it. It's just the fact that they don't like it and they work backwards from there. Because that logically, you will arrive at the same conclusion if you do that with single-player games. There are many people who watch a playthrough of a single-player game, especially on YouTube, and then they don't buy the game. Does that make sense? False equivalence, YouTube is using a single person's monetization versus company. So what if one person makes a video game? So what if one, not the same? No. I'm not, mental gymnastics. Yeah, so there... And I will take some opinions here. It's different. Video games are good because of the interaction. When you watch someone else play a game, there's no interaction. You just watch their point of view. Wait, what? Video games are good because of interaction. So if you pause a video, is that interacting with it? Like, how do you define interaction? Wrong. What are your content stealing other people's content and posts? Well, it's not all of it. Why are you? The thing is, like, why would you watch my stream if that's what you think? It's weird. I'm just gonna ban it. That's so weird. Like, yeah. Well, what the fuck? Why are you here if you think that? What's wrong with you? Let's see here. I think the issue is video games are a product you buy versus React content isn't a product they bought. It's just a video recorded while watching another video. Why would that matter if they both serve as a market replacement? So fundamentally, one of the big things in fair use is if the derivative content is serving as a market replacement. So if it's a market replacement, it doesn't really matter. Next. Let's see here. Why they even cancel reaction content? It's just a YouTube headline. There's probably nothing that's going to happen with it. Gray areas, why is the OG creator should even control the decide? I think it depends on who it is. Like I've said before, if somebody doesn't want me to react to their videos for whatever reason, unless their videos are about me, or they're trying to push an agenda that I find to be bad or problematic, I would just not react to their videos. It's not complicated. That's it. Imagine drawing a line at a company not recognizing that thousands of people would lose their jobs if a video game doesn't make money. Well, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. Yeah, and this is where I'm coming from, is that I think that if you want to apply this logic, you will have to extrapolate it to like video games as well. I think so. And also, I want to address the other thing is that many video games allow other people to upload content and monetize that content, and that is explicitly stated in the video game TOS. And I think that's the case with almost all video games nowadays. Is that right? Okay, so I think that actually is an argument for what I'm saying, because what I'm saying is that is a tool that the content creator provides in order to give other people an idea as to whether they can react and make content about that video game. So I think that's really what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I think a universal rule by YouTube will either be too much or not enough. Does that make sense? I don't hate it too much, but too much React content can be fatiguing. Well, then don't watch it. People that complain about React content, I think, are some of the dumbest people on the internet. Like, I can understand if a content creator is complaining about React content, like Dark Vapor is complaining about it because he thinks it's bad for YouTube. If you're not a content creator, this has no bearing on you. If you don't like the video, don't watch the video. Like, I don't know. I don't find this to be hard. Let's see here. Playthroughs have also made me get more games. Yeah, but can't you say that watching React content has made you watch other videos? How many of you guys have watched a React video and then watched the person's content after the React video? I think that's happened too. You can give... The thing is, like, you can give very common sense, like, logical conclusions both ways. You see what I'm saying? And what's this here? Would you bought games because you've watched a streamer play it and it looked fun? Yeah, like Vampire Survivors, exactly. For sure. But I think that's the same with React content. That's what I mean, is that not all of it is equal. And that's why I had a problem, and I think it can be problematic if YouTube actually makes a rule against it universally. Does that make sense? I just started subbing to Lucy. Her stream after your reaction was nuts. She got like 500 subs. Yeah, and that's just what happens. It is not as simple as some people would like to make it out to be. And I do think that React content exists on a spectrum, and there is a point on that spectrum which the H3 court case proves is fair use. So where do you draw the line? I think that YouTube should give give creators the tools and not make rules about it. That's the smart way to do it. Does that make sense? And what's this here? Video loses value to you whenever you watch somebody else's reaction. The game doesn't, because it's different to play it yourself than watching it. But we already established that's not true. We've already established that people use playthroughs of video games as a market replacement of playing the video game themselves. We've already established that as true. Watched a lot of videos from other content creators after your reacts? Yeah, sure. And no, we haven't. Well, of course we have. How many people? Again, we? Yes, we. Clearly we. We haven't established it. We absolutely have. Whenever I asked earlier, go back and check the VOD. Tons of people said that they watched playthroughs of games because they couldn't afford the game or they didn't buy the game. Yeah, it poll it. There is no outcome of the poll that will prove anything. Because if some people say, if 10% of people say yes, that still means that it happens. So you're again making an argument of degree. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, or it does happen. I'm saying that, I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm saying that it happens sometimes. I'm not saying it happens all the time. I never said that. I watched The Quarry and I didn't play it. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. They watch playthroughs because it's the next best thing, not an exact replacement for playing it. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think there's a lot of people who watch playthroughs because they don't have the time to play the game as well. And so if they had the game, there is not a time where that person would play the game naturally. You see what I'm saying? And rash content advertising versus enriching versus leechment. Yes, and that's what I'm saying, is that it's a spectrum. You probably wouldn't have bought it anyways then. Yeah, but you can say the same thing about a video. You see what I'm saying? The Shoujo with the 10 gifted subs. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Have you watched Dark Fire's video about it? You always say numbers don't lie. Yeah, I did see it. I thought the numbers were stupid. If you want me to be honest, I think that you can provide... he provided one example, and I've reacted to 100 creators. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it really... I mean, it didn't really work that well. Let me see here. I didn't want to play the Corey, and I watched the playthrough. There you go. So I think that... I mean... All I'm saying is that I think that any rule that YouTube comes out with React content will be probably bad. I think that YouTube should provide content creators tools or provide content creators extra protection if they don't want to have their content put on YouTube in that way. I think that a person should, to a certain degree, have autonomy over how their content is presented on YouTube by other creators, just not to an entire degree. It's only bad for reactors. Yes, I think so, but what I'm saying is that I think that if you say that it's bad for reactors, I think that reacting to a video game is not too far away from that. And I think that you can apply the same logic to reacting to a video game and doing a playthrough of a video game that you can to reacting to a YouTube video. It's that simple. And, yeah, most people do react stuff now. Yeah, that's because people like watching it. No, LOL. Well, the reason why you're saying no, LOL, is because you don't have an argument for it. And it's because I do, and I know what I'm talking about because I do this professionally and I've done it for 10 years. I know this better than you do, infinitely better, and I can guarantee you that you will logically come to the conclusion that I will, if you think about it. Yeah, you have no idea what you're talking about if you disagree with this. Watching a Let's Play and actively reacting to content is not the same thing, dude. Yes, it is. It produces the same result. Yeah, this is literally my job. You're telling me that I don't know my own job. You pay for a video game, you don't pay to react. Paying for something does not give you a distribution license. You pay for a CD, does that mean you can play it on stream? Oh my god. How can so many people be so stupid? It's crazy. Here, let me... Alright, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put on sub mode for a second. Are there any actual arguments against my point that are not stupid? I will read a few arguments against my point, and I will address them, and then after that, I want to move on. Yeah, are there any actual arguments against this? Okay, let's see here. A set of tools works best. Yes, a set of tools works best. I agree with that. Maybe addressed what isn't transformative content. So what is and is not transformative content? Transformative content is a legal defense. I cannot make that distinction. And also, some things cannot be transformative, but they can still be productive and helpful to the content creator, which is why I think they should have the autonomy to make the decision themselves. Game devs have better claim to copyright than reacting to videos. They'd win a lawsuit 100%, get shit on by gamers. Exactly. Let's see here. So long as you're adding to discussion is fine. It exists on a spectrum. I agree. Okay, is there anything else? And, this shit's black and white, you're right. I think there's some nuance to it, but not a lot. You don't need to get aggressive towards chat. Noah's infinitely better than you, Lamau. Well, the reason why is because people are telling me that I'm stupid, I'm biased, and I'm wrong about this. And it does I probably did get mad. You're right, I got too mad. I did get a little bit annoyed by it. That's an emotion. I should not have that. I think that I am unequivocally right about this. And I think that logically, you will come to the same conclusion that I will if you think about it under the same parameters that I am. If there are people who disagree with me, I will read your disagreements and I will determine as if they are accurate or not. But I have not seen a single person be able to refute what I'm saying. Yes, logically I'm right. Tools to mark a reaction or automatically direct reactions to original video would be best. Yeah, sure. I think I'd be fine with that. That's what I try to do on my own. If creators had the control, H3 could have been demonetized for the same video they won in the court case. That shuts down valid criticism. Yeah, I think so. And I think that YouTube is probably going to do nothing about it. Like, this is what I would do, is if somebody doesn't like their content being reacted to, and they told me that, I would just not react to their content, problem solved. There are some things that creating a system around it is always going to be less or worse than just allowing people to make the decisions individually as people. You already did that. Yes, I do. There's obvious skill expression in video game playthrough, and it changes the video, where you can never change the original audio or video in a React. Every video uses the same video, whereas playthrough is entirely different. So every React video is going to be different, unless you want to say that there's literally no skill in any commentary whatsoever, which I think is a very reductive argument and can clearly be disproven in a million different ways. If you say there's no skill in reacting to something, you would effectively say that there is nobody who can be an expert in anything at all, which is silly. So that logically goes nowhere. Let's see here. What about React content that's critical? The creator may not want you to react, but it can be important at times, like actual reviews. Yeah, I think that reviews definitely fall under that. And I've seen people, this is what's happened, right? Is that people have DMCA'd content that was critical of them. Takes very little skill into reacting compared to making said video or even playing a video game. Well, what do you think takes more skill? Making a video game or playing it? Who do you think took more skill? The person uploading a Let's Play of the quarry or the person who developed the game? I mean, again, like, how can anybody make these arguments that are just so paper thin? Like, I don't understand. Since when is playing a video game a high-skilled activity? Yeah, it's crazy. These guys watch those TikToks where the reactor just films himself staring at a video, comparing it to me. Well, all I'm saying is that I'm saying it exists on a spectrum, and I want to make one thing clear, okay? Because I'm wrapping this up. We've talked about it for too long. I want to watch some videos. I want to react to some stuff. This will not affect me. There have been many changes on Twitch that have affected me in different ways. The strength of a person and the strength of a content creator is not in creating a type of content. It's being able to evolve and change as content evolves and changes. There was a time that I only played World of Warcraft, and then that time ended. There was a time that I only played other games, and then that time ended. There was a time that I played copyrighted music on my channel, and then that time ended. It is not really how good your content is at the moment. It is how much can you adapt and respond to change. And I will always adapt, and I will always respond to change. I will always skirt the rules. I will always go under the rules. I will always slightly break them, but not enough in a way for me to get action for it. I will always change my content to where it's not like that. I will always adapt. Nothing will bother me. Nothing is going to stop me from doing anything. It's just going to change maybe the direction from it. That's it. Could it be argued that your popularity makes the YouTube algorithm favor you over the original content creator? I don't know. I think that discussing the YouTube algorithm, I think you'd have a better idea trying to discuss what happens on a Ouija board. It seems like things are very derivative, and it's hard to really determine what's actually true or what's not. But again, I think that could be something that they could deal with. YouTube could deal with on themselves. So I'm not sure. Well, let's see here. Majority of people reacting content don't add anything to the video. Yeah, I think that that's true too. Find your opinion takes interesting why many viewers enjoy your react videos. I think so too. Yeah, it depends on who it is. And YouTuber here, please move to the glass. Sure. All right, argue that the original creator would get more exposure through your react videos. Well, I'm not. The thing is, like, you can make many arguments for react videos, but all I'm doing here is responding to arguments against them. That's it. And all I'm saying is that you can make the same general arguments about video games and playthroughs of video games that you can about YouTube videos for, what do you call it? For them being on YouTube. That's it. Arguments you're making are just anecdotal. You could spew a lot of opinions as facts. I still find you super entertaining as content creator, and I don't think that anyone in brain cells takes what's being said seriously. Well, Proud JT, what part of what argument did I make that's anecdotal? But let's all right, one argument with one viewer, guys. Please allow me this. Please let me do this one, and then we'll move on, okay? What argument did I make that was anecdotal? Exodus with 5 gifted subs. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Which argument did I say that you feel is anecdotal? And like, what did I say that people should not be taken seriously? Let's see what he says. One guide? That's right. One guide. And don't ever say that I don't listen to criticism and people that disagree with me. I do it all the time. It just depends on how. Depends on how people disagree. Let's see what he says. Going through all the buzzwords today. Yes, of course. Let's see what he says. But he was agreeing with you. Was he? Wait, am I getting in an argument with somebody who's agreeing with me? I don't think so. Yeah, well, let's see what he says. Let's see what he says. He disagreed. I think that he disagreed. I mean, shit. Try this argument. New person on YouTube. I've seen this. Add like 5k subs. As someone watches the video, person got 20k subs in a day. How's that bad? Well, no. I agree with you. But let's see if this person has an argument at all. And so, yeah, ban all people who disagree. You have to start arguments with people that do agree. The unfortunate thing is that there's always more people that disagree with me. It sucks. I can't ban them all, man. I feel like this person's just not going to make a comment. What do you guys think? Yeah, that's disappointing. I like to read people's comments. I like to listen to like other people's opinions. Like I've said this before, I love arguing. I love debating. It's something that I enjoy. Sounds like your idea is the death of fair use. People won't make negative reviews or reactions if the creator of the content can claim it as a reaction or shut it down. Yes, and that's what I was saying before about how there's a line. And is it best for YouTube to have a rule? Don't move on, keep going. Okay, anyway, let's just move on past this. I put out my opinion. If you disagree with my opinion, you can express it and I probably won't read it. But anyway, I do think that I'm right about this, and some of the comments that I did read, as I said, I feel like many of them are paper thin. They are paper thin arguments, and they have literally no weight or substance whatsoever.